All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Juju the Gamer here, and I just saw something that made me record. That's making me want to record instantly. Because now it's what, July, heading into August, so we are heading into one of my favorite times of the year, outside of the fall gaming season and fall anime season. We are heading into college football. We are heading into college football, and if you have been living under a rock the last couple of days, you'll know that Texas and Oklahoma are, well, they've now officially today said that they are, they said they are releasing their contract for the grant of rights. You know, that's going to be another video, but because Texas and Oklahoma are potentially leaving, well, not potentially, they are leaving the Big 12 to join the SEC, which is the conference my alma mater is in, Mizzou. This brings into an excellent point. Is what are the other conferences going to do? What is the Big 10, the Pac-12, the ACC going to do? The other power conferences. I didn't mention the Big 12 solely because if Texas and Oklahoma, when they leave, that league is going to either fold, merge into the American, or become another group of five. I don't believe those schools on their own, while they have tradition and history, I don't believe those schools on their own have enough national staying power to justify being a Power 5 conference. So, it's like I said, the Big 12 is either going to merge, fold, or become a group of five. That's just, but like I said, I'll be getting into more specific of what I believe is going to happen to Big 12 in a later video. There's a rumor. Now, I'm going to preface this. I grew up in the Midwest. So, Big 10 countries where I personally grew up. I grew up watching Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, Penn State. You know, those schools, you know, and to this day I still watch them, basically. But I grew up in Big 10 country. That's where I grew up. In every bowl season, there was this bowl called the Rose Bowl that me and my family, you know, would barbecue. We would get around with other friends and family, and we would watch the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl in the Big 10 is huge, especially after Illinois went. Even though we got demolished by USC, that was just wrong. But the Rose Bowl has always been a special bowl to me. In the Pac-12, while I knew of the Pac-12, I was mostly USC's division to dominate, and then they started, kind of like Texas started falling off a little bit due to the changing landscape of college football. Oregon started dominating the Pac-12. But if we want to talk about expansion, I'm going to go and let this video play right after my intro, and then I'll give my thoughts, because I had saw this article from the Buckeye Scoop, and it immediately made me want to record, because I believe this might happen. Now, I said might, not that it is, not that it's confirmed. I'm saying it's a possibility that this might happen. So with that being said, here's my intro. It's a new intro dedicated to college football. I hope I do not get copyrighted for it, because that would end my night. But let's go ahead, let's hit my intro, hit my music, and then we're gonna play this video, because I truly believe this might happen. We're heading into some crazy times here in college football. Let's get it. right, so I had to pull the video up. This is around the 6-minute mark. Oh no, I took that back. It's around 6:45ish. Just listen to this question. Okay, I'm going to shut up, but let's just take in this question, and I will give my thoughts afterwards.
Report on Buckeye Scoop from the Pac-12, which is kind of, the Big Ten and the Pac-12 have kind of had a relationship for a long time, centered on the Rose Bowl, but they had that scheduling agreement that didn't actually end up coming to pass a couple of years ago, and they were the ones that were kind of closely in alignment last year on not playing the season until they did play the season. But there were 4 Pac-12 schools that you said sounds like are interested and in communication with the Big Ten. Can you let people know what those schools are and, why that might make sense from the Big Ten's perspective?
Those 4 schools are USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Colorado. And those are conversations that are absolutely happening and ongoing. And I would say that the one that's the most...
Hold on. Did he just... I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to shut up until after this clip. But did he just say... USC, Oregon, UCLA, and Colorado potentially joining the Big Ten, potentially merging with the Big Ten? Hold on. He has to elaborate more on that.
Strident about this, the one that's kind of, I wouldn't say leading the charge, but certainly is at the point is USC. And, USC has been really unhappy with what's happened with their role in the Pac-12. I think they see this as an opportunity for them to go onto a larger scale. I mean, Pac-12 football and sports in general has been kind of down, and USC feels like they need to up their profile. They're a private institution, so they don't have a lot of the restrictions of some of these public institutions have. So more of the political considerations. But those 4 schools have been in contact. And, if you think about that, for the Big Ten now would be going coast to coast, literally from the Pacific to the Atlantic. They'd be playing, Big Ten football. And that would be an interesting counter to what the masterstroke that the SEC just did with adding Oklahoma and Texas. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
All right. So, because I don't want to sit here all day and and have that clip be all in the video. This is just insane. So not only is USC, Oregon, aka Nike headquarters. Look, let's just stop there. USC is a traditional. Well, let my camera refocus. USC is a powerhouse in college football. They are much like Texas. Okay? USC is much like Texas. A lot of tradition, great in athletics. Been on some down years in football with the change in landscape of college football. And with USC not being USC-like, their recruits are leaving, their high-end recruits are leaving the state of California. So they're not staying to play for USC. So they have a lot of alumni into the NFL. They said all-time players that have gone to the league. It's USC, no. I think 1 and 2 is Ohio State and Alabama. 3 and 4 is like Notre Dame and USC. Or I want to say Notre Dame and USC is 3 and 4. But USC is like top 5 schools that have sent athletes to the NFL. And then you have Oregon, who founded just think of Nike. Just Nike in general. The founder of Nike is an Oregon alum. Oregon with all their crazy uniform combinations, which are just beautiful to see on TV. Oregon has been a powerhouse in the 2010s. Okay, just think of the Pac-12. It's been USC all the 2000s it was USC basically. Now it's kind of shifting to Oregon. Oregon had a national championship. They've been to the biggest of the biggest stages. They haven't won it yet, but Oregon is there. Like, they are there. I believe Oregon has won at least the last 3 or 4 championships for the Pac-12. I know they just beat USC this past year. Just those two alone have a lot of power. UCLA. UCLA has always been like middle of the road to me. But Pasadena, the Rose Bowl, that's where they play. That's where UCLA plays. They play literally in the Rose Bowl. And they are USC's biggest rival. So I believe those two are like a package deal. You can't have one without the other. But here's the thing. UCLA is elite in basketball. The Big Ten and Pac-12 have great basketball programs. So if you merge the two together, that is a all-world basketball program. And then there's Colorado. I'll say Colorado has Colorado is very beautiful to visit. Their campus is amazing. In terms of football and basketball, they've been kind of down. I know Colorado has a great football tradition. They've done some great things, but I'll say they had a good 2-3 year run before their coach left. So I'm gonna have to research more as to what Colorado can bring to the Big Ten, but potentially having USC, Oregon, and UCLA merging with the Big Ten, and where would the conference championship game be? I'd say put it in the Rose Bowl. Put it in the Rose Bowl. It's more of unless you're playing UCLA, it's more of a neutral location. Now I would say they'd probably have to, be a rotation between Indy or just full on be in the Rose Bowl. But if Texas and Oklahoma can join the SEC, there's no reason why USC, Oregon, UCLA, and Colorado can join and merge with the Big Ten, just based off of, not even regional, but more of the NCAA is heading towards leagues. We're heading towards many versions of the NFC and the AFC. So with them having talks of this, just brings it further to that point. Because I believe this is probably going to happen. I believe the Power 5, a designated Power 5, is going to merge and join into 2 leagues. So, like I said, this has been a crazy week in college football. This is only adding to that. But if Texas and Oklahoma can talk in secrecy with the SEC for over 6 months and nobody knows until they basically just about join, I have no reason not to believe something this magnitude can happen. So, but these are just my thoughts as a college football fan. We're in for some crazy times with the nil agreement. Players can really start earning money with their name, image, and likeness. Nick Saban saying his quarterback made $1 million off of that already, which is just insane. So we are in for some crazy, unprecedented times. Regional football is not about to matter anymore. We're heading into leagues, people. And college football is about to get insane. So, I'm Juju the Gamer. I'm signing out. I'm just your average college football fan reacting to the craziness that's happened this past week. Next, we're going to be talking about Texas and Oklahoma joining the Big 12. But not joining the Big 12, the SEC. But I'm signing out. See you next time. Into the next video.